All right, everybody knows me as the personal development guy. I started this journey many years ago and I got into personal development, in 2009 with Tony Robbins. One of his guys came to the office and I said, yes, I'll sign up. I had no idea what I was getting into. However, I signed up in 2009 to see him live and do his ultimate experience, the 4-day experience, Thursday through Sunday. You're on fire, you're jumping around. I went in for a refund. That is a whole story in of itself. Then I actually am in real estate at the time. And during that time, I go through a whole personal development journey. And it's wild. I'm reading books. I'm going to seminars. I'm seeing speeches. I'm traveling all over the US. I'm seeing hundreds of speakers, hundreds of conferences, hundreds of books. And I go through this whole thing and I say, you know what? I was lied to my whole life that you can actually get better. I had a big fixed mindset and I went from fixed to growth. And I went on an absolute rampage from fixed to growth. And it was in every area. It was in health. It was in sleep. It was in relationships to other, relationships to family members, relationships romantically. It was, how do you talk to people? How do you sell? How do you market? How do you get your product out there? How do you actually pitch? How do you actually get to know somebody? How do you actually cold sell something? How do you cold email, cold call? I literally studied everything. And all of those videos are on YouTube. And during that time, I was obsessed and I thought this was the end all be all. I said, personal development is it. For 22 years of my life, read one book. And then from 20 to about 35, it was a rampage of books. It was a rampage, like I just said, of seminars. And, Tony Robbins, I spent $25,000, did that ultimate experience. I hired a coach for a weekend for $10,000. I hired another coach every single month. It was $1,200 every single month. I did that for many years, a real estate coach, triathlon coach. All I was in this complete growth mindset in every single area of my life. And all I just asked was, I don't know. And the I don't know literally was, I don't know how to do anything. Because at 22, I woke up after 4 years. I should have been graduated. I'm still at college. I'm doing semesters and semesters. I'm now that guy, that fifth year senior during the summer, then the fall, just going like, where did I go off the rails? I knew I was an absolute maniac when it came to outside of school, but inside of school, I saw all my friends just literally leaping and going into law, going into graduate, getting this internship, paying this amount, and I'm working at Olive Garden. I'm working at a diner in West York, making $32 for an 8-hour shift. No joke. They don't tip. So I then hit a point where you are going through this whole rigmarole of learning things and you're going through teachers and you're starting at like the lowest rung and you go, this is it. This is the teacher. And then you go, okay, I'm past him. Let's go here. And this is what life is. If you're not on a growth mindset, you will literally stagnate and then you just wither away. And then life becomes colorless. It becomes black and white. It's just gray. It's not fun. There's no energy. You don't know why you're here. You don't know what's going on, especially in today's day and age. During this entire time, I am a real estate agent starting in 2009. Then in 2014, I go, you know what? I could do this better. Video is a thing and all this social media and YouTube, and I couldn't make my own website. I couldn't have my own brand. It had to go to legal. It had to go to marketing. It had to go to counsel. It had to go here and there and this approval, then your manager, then the CEO. And finally, they just said, dude, you're breaking all of the rules. But I'm like, I'm an independent contractor. I'm getting my own business. They said, no, you got to get out of here. So started my own business in 2014. Then COVID hits. COVID changed everything for me. I started diving into everything. And during this time, by the way, you reach a pinnacle where I call it the personal development hamster wheel. So you obviously have personal development right here. And you start going on a hamster wheel. You're like, okay, let's learn about marketing. Okay, learned about marketing. Now let's learn about sales. Okay, cool, sales. Now let's learn about public speaking. Okay, cool, I mastered that. Okay, now let's learn about cold calling, cold email, and you just go on this hamster wheel and it just keeps on going. You just conquer all these different areas that you had no idea. And you're just going on a new hamster. Oh my gosh, physics is interesting. Mathematics is interesting. And then you start going into psychology and just how we're wired. And Tony Robbins is like, you need variety, but not too much variety. You need excitement, but not too much excitement. And you're like, yeah. And you start doing that. And the problem is that this is where people stay. And I was there for well over a decade, just looping on different areas, just learning. Milk's bad for you. Actually, protein's good for you. Actually, this is how you sleep. Oh, too much alcohol. Oh my gosh, coffee. And it's everything. And you could stay in that loop. And I did. And there's people still in that loop. It's just a personal development loop. There's just more. And there always is more. And then someone like Jordan Peterson comes along and starts going into, well, the Bible actually had great stories. And actually, psychologically, this is what that triad is. And then I was like, oh, wow, who's Joseph Campbell? I started reading about him. And I was like, wow, this is very interesting. Then I started listening about evolution and evolutionary psychology and evolutionary biology and evolutionary everything. Dawkins, Hitchens, Sam Harris. I was like, Jordan Peterson. I was like, oh, wow, this is a totally different realm. And it put me on this spiral. But that spiral literally was like this to me. So now COVID hits. And now everything stops. And I go, okay, I'm still making personal development videos here on YouTube. I'm still in real estate. And the weird thing is, you start going into like, okay, let's go into like a little deeper things like geopolitical politics, or let's go into history. What is history? What we learned in college and high school, or for me, I didn't learn anything because I wasn't paying attention. I was a terrible student. But for everyone else, how do I get out of this fixed mindset of like, what is history? What actually happened? Who are the actual players? Who is actually good? Who is actually bad? And I started going down many rabbit holes, as many other people did. And you go over here, then you go over here, then you go over here. Now you're just saying, wait, personal development is fun. There's growth in there. But once you hit a pinnacle, you will hit a ceiling. And if you continue looping, you hit that ceiling and then you find something else. You hit that ceiling, you find something else. You hit the ceiling, you find something else. But there comes a time where you just literally have nothing else. I came to that point. I'm spitting everywhere. I literally came to the point where I'm like, I got nothing else. I literally said, what else is it? Like, why are we here? Kind of questions. Like the basis of thousands of years of psychology and philosophy and just Plato and Aristotle and all these people, like, that's weird. Plato has this interesting book called The Republic. Maybe I should get into history a little bit more. So now it's 2021 and now I'm deep into the rabbit hole. Now it's 22 and I'm so far down there that I'm completely out of the personal development realm. And now I'm questioning reality of, is there a God? 2023. I go, okay, let's look into this thing. I have my testimonial on here. I'm not going to go into that. So personal development, when I started this channel, I don't know, it was right around 2011, probably 21, to about 2020, I don't know, 4 or 5, right around there. I didn't look up statistics. Probably about, 7K subscribed, 6K subscribed. And they were like, yes, Charles, talk about personal development. Then I had a coming to faith moment, coming to Jesus, if you want to say that. And then I was on fire for months. And then another 3K to 4K joined, and then 1K fell off here. So now this crowd has no idea what I'm doing. This crowd is now the new crowd on you making your personal development videos. Now you're talking about God. Okay, that's good. I like that. I'm into faith. And I had a couple of videos go mega viral, not mega viral, 100,000 views, 200,000 views. I don't know. It's right around that. I should look at metrics like Mr. Beast. He's just like obsessed. I'm not. I just talk about what is interesting to me. And then I just hit this point around 2025 where I go, wow, what is this AI thing that I'm seeing right now? What is this Claude that I'm talking about? And then I create projects and then I go, I can actually have a triathlon coach. I pay a lot of money for a triathlon coach. Well, I can have a business coach that knows all of my numbers and I pay him $1,200 and it's nothing against them. I just was, I was strapped for cash. So it was like $1,200 for my business coach, business real estate coach, then $250, $300 for my triathlon coach. I'm like, let me just create projects in Claude. Claude knows all of my metrics and then just literally prints out a plan for that week. And I go, wow. So that was the end of 2025, where I just started saying, this is probably around August. Then it was right around the end of August, if not the beginning of September, I run across this thing called code. artifacts. Never seen this in my life, even though I've been living in Claude. I just skipped over that left menu option and I clicked on it. And then there was a little dialog box at the top and, where you could write something in here and it says, do you want to build a website? Do you want to build an app? And I was like, well, I just got my invoice for Salesforce. That's interesting. Salesforce. It's expensive. And it took me, I don't know, 5 developers, $50,000 to develop multi-year project, but I've been using it and I love it and it has all of my information, all the transactions, all my leads, like 10,000 units, 7,000 contacts. It was just built miraculously. It has permissions, it has fields. This shows here. It was just a chef's kiss. Honestly, it was such a delight that I got it to where it was. I'll bet a lot of planning, a lot of whiteboards, and a lot of money, and a lot of frustration, and a lot of developers that screwed me over. We won't talk about that. But now I go in and I just say, this is now September. I go in and I'm like, can you build me a Salesforce? And it said, yes, I can. I can build you a Salesforce. And I say, okay, build it for me. So now I'm waiting there and it's going, it's just doing all its lines of codes. And then at the end, here's the page. I'll never forget it. This is the page. And then something slides out from the end of the page right here. And it has a CRM. And I go, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. It slides out and it says publish. And I was like, I remember this moment. You gotta be kidding me. I could publish this CRM? You could publish this CRM. It's public, but yeah, you could publish it. So I publish it and I don't know, go to another website or maybe it's in the same website. I don't know. But I literally clicked around after a minute of it just going through and I go, it had contacts, it had buildings, it had transactions, it had emails, it had leads. And I go, you got to be kidding me. I said, how do I improve this? How do I own this? It said, well, it's on our servers. So I went through September to October with an unbelievable build. Unbelievable. I spent hundreds of dollars then. I had to throw it away. So that was number one build. But now I'm just reiterating. Now October to about December, I had an even better one. This time it was beautiful. The buttons were amazing. It was literally, I exported all of my files within Salesforce. I exported everything and I just said import. I import it and said, I don't know what this means. I was like, well, no, this is the data I see. And it's like, yeah, but that's the interface. It's not wired to the database. It's not wired to the code base or to the database. So we can't put it into the database, goes to the code base and into the interface. So in other words, it's just pretty on the outside. It's just pretty and it operates, but nothing is actually coming from the database. And I go, you got to be kidding me. That took me literally. So now we're months. I haven't done a deal. I haven't thought of a deal. I haven't sniffed a deal, but I'm still in real estate. And now I'm not even doing personal development and I'm not even doing faith at all. So now YouTube is stuck and I'm in purgatory essentially. So I'm like, I got to get this handled. December to about February. This is my third build now. I literally threw everything away. I am coding every day for 12 hours, just learning GitHub, Vercel. What do I need to do? What API keys? Okay, resend. Okay, we got to go into Google Console. We got to get the maps. We got to get the search, Brave API. And now my API docs is just growing. It's just growing. So from here to here, I think this is when OpenClaw came out. Don't quote me that, but I was in that OpenClaw era where it might have even been March because we're in May. So this might have been February. This is 2025 right here. This is 2025. This is 2026 right here. And that's 2025. So now September to February, I'm not even thinking about real estate at all. I'm still obviously practicing faith, but I'm not thinking about personal development. I'm not thinking about real estate. I'm not thinking about anything but building my Salesforce. I had to scrap this because it was getting to a point where the database, the code base, and the interface was getting too intermingled. There was too many commits. It wasn't on the right repo. I needed action items. Then this cost was coming. And through this whole thing, thousands of dollars were just leaving my bank account. Thousands of dollars, API tokens. And at this time, I'm like, I know I can make this work. And then that's probably right around when OpenClaw came out because I remember it distinctly. I was going back and forth, and I was like, you know what? If this is going to be my fourth build, and I have thrown away 3 other ones, and God knows how many hours and months and dollars, this is the first one. I got to make this work. I got to do this on my own computer and not use any other software. And this is literally going to be on my computer. And I'm going to own the code base. I'm going to own the repo. I'm going to own the website. And I got to have it safe and secure so I can be in the office and code from there and go right into my own instead of someone else's computers. So this is when I bought a Mac Mini. I returned the Mac Mini. I was like, I need something bigger. I went out, I got a Pro for a laptop, MacBook Pro. Then I went out and I got the basic Mac Studio, $2,000, I think it is. And I was like, okay, I'm humming. Okay, perfect. Now let's go forward to today. Personal development is not in my brain anymore, because when you go from personal development, you do all these loops and you end up in faith. You go, personal development is literally just a back scratcher. And everyone's just, I go to that course goes to that person, that coach goes to that coach, and that coach goes to this coach, and that coach pays me. And it's just literally dollars just going between the exact same people saying the exact same thing. And I was like, that's a loop. I already know that there's something more than the loop. So I go, okay, you know what we're going to do? I learned so much through all of my time in personal development, all these books, all these coaches. I went through all the rabbit holes. I know how the world works. I know since 2009, just on a crazy treadmill of finding out what there is and what there needs to be in the future for people in the scary word we're about to write, AI age. What is this? There's 2 types. There's the personal and there's the enterprise. The enterprise is what everyone's mad at. That's the data centers. That's the hit on the power grid, the hit on the water. I can hear it. It's humming. It's crazy. Rare earth materials. The enterprise is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the personal. I'm talking about the guys and girls that are getting laid off right now. They're in Silicon, they're in Washington, just laid off 1,400 people. I talked about it today. San Francisco laid off 3,000. Meta, Amazon AWS laid it off at Alexa. And what they're doing is they're training their models from humans. So they're training humans who are doing their job, who then will go and be replaced by AI. How are they doing it? They're taking your keystrokes, your mouse clicks, your screenshots, literally leaked audio, allegedly, from Meta saying they're doing this. And they openly admitted that's what they're doing. And they're doing it to make sure that they're training their data so they can replace you. That's not what they're saying. They're saying something nicer. So why am I going on this crazy rant in this video? I have to explain the journey I was on and why I'm concluding this. Am I passionate about real estate? No. It's hard to be 17 years as a broker owner and continuously show up every single day when you know inflation's on the rise. You understand AI is here. You understand that interest rates are kind of contrary to inflation. So if inflation rises, they might need to raise the rates. If the rates rise, then people can't afford homes. If they can't afford homes, then everything, because of inflation, costs more. So rents go up and not buying. So I'm looking around the world and I go, there's a lot of panic. There's a lot of scarcity. There's a lot of scared people out there. And what I want to let everybody know is you must become a small C creator. Okay? Create a piece of art, piece of music, create a website, ideas, create something original. You have to get that flowing, because in the future, we're going to have to create a company. We're going to have to create content. We're going to have to create a stool, a bench, a beautiful garden, something. There has to be creation. This whole world now is just consumption. It is just consumption. There is no originality. There is no creation. It's consumption. We can thank the 20th century for that and all the marketing that came around that. There's a book called Propaganda. You could obviously look at that. But the 20th century was all about consumerism, okay? Consumption. The 21st century, the one we're in right now, I call it the century of safety. You got to be safe. We got it. Just be safe. AI, just have a robot do it. Just have a robo-taxi do it. Just have AI do it. What I want to do is say, let's break out of that. This is on the personal level. You go out and you know how you become a creator and you're not on the personal development chain? You get your own Mac Mini, Studio, whatever you want. Get your own Mac Mini, and you go, you know what? I'm a real estate agent in Arizona, and I give my money to Salesforce. I give my money to Squarespace. I give my money to MailChimp. I give my money to a whole host of all these software providers. I don't know if anyone's heard of SaaSpocalypse, but that's essentially what is coming down the line. Salesforce, very scared there. They're going down. Why am I transitioning to this? Because this is the future and it's here to stay. And there's a lot of people that are not actually saying this logically. Logically is you got to understand that you can own your own data, build your own stuff, build your own website, build your own MailChimp, Squarespace. You can build whatever you want, your own CRM, whatever you are. You're a hairstylist, you deliver pizza, you're a pizzeria. You can literally have your own website on your own computer and build your own CRM, your own delivery, your own, POC, point of contact or point of purchase or whatever the heck it is. You can literally own all of that on your own computer. It's closed source. It's not connected to the internet. It's just connected to your computer. Yes, you can then go up and Cloudflare so people can access everything. But this is to stay. And this entire video is like, Charles, why did you go from personal development into faith, and now from now on, you're just doing AI? Well, the thing is, I'm not pushing enterprise. That's going to happen anyway. Those boys are just going to do those things. The data centers, the teraflops, everything in space, they're going to do what they're going to do. They're going to go public. They're going to have big parties. We're going to be talking about hundreds of millions, if not trillions on valuation. I'm talking about the personal level. The personal level right now, it has always been this, just very centralized, everything. All your data, all the companies, food, healthcare, everything has been centralized at the top. What AI is going to do is this. Oh, wow. Only a few, now the companies are spread out. That's going to be 1/3. 1/3 is going to be medium. And then the rest is going to be us who are into solopreneur, entrepreneur, small business. This is the Fortune, say 5,000, then the Fortune 10,000, and then everyone else. Large, medium, small business. That's the best way to look at it. The future is going to be this, not this, but they want to put you in fear so you don't even look this up. That's why I'm so passionate about it, because I don't know anything about code. I know, I know basics about HTML, CSS, and maybe PHP, and that's it. Like minor basics. Not even know how to code basics. But when it comes to security and design and making sure that it is fast and brought in by Google servers if I have a blog, or brought in by AI because it's fast, whatever the case is, you can learn anything you want. You can literally be on this, except in the personal ownership space. So you can literally have no one else but you and Claude designing what you want. And no, it's not, you don't pay out anyone. They're not taking 30%. You own everything. But you must become a small C creator. You must become this. You must understand how to think. That's why in my community, obviously right now, it's a bunch of people who watch me code live on YouTube. In the future, we're going to be changing up the content. But essentially, that's what my community is going to be about. It's going to be about a bunch of creators, whether they are really good at one singular thing, which is security or safety when it comes to going to the internet, avoiding hackers, bots, maliciousware, malware, all that are just DDoSing, which is hitting your website and like crashing it or trying to get in. That's essentially what iCharles is going to be about. iCharles.com, it's the community. I will not spell out community, but it's iCharles.com/community. The iCharles.com website was always about real estate. Even Botenston.com was about real estate. It was always 17 years, broker owner, your friends, your family members, like literally everyone knows you as the guy who is in real estate. I don't even know where I put it, but the guy that was in real estate. That means 17 years. I am transitioning into something that I don't know anything about, but I learned in the last half a year, probably, if not more. So 17 years to zero. Why am I saying this, by the way? I am seeing Meta laying off 10% of their workforce. I am seeing AWS, I'm seeing Oracle, I'm seeing everybody laying off all these people. Sometimes they just literally learn it that day. Sometimes they learn it the week before, the month before, whatever. But there has to be this preparation, because right now you have this, which is that everyone's seen the bell curve. And the bell curve essentially is, by the way, amazing invention. Why do that and put it down? Just have it magnetic. The bell curve, everyone's seen this. This is where everybody adopts. This is 2030. That's 2030. We're right here. This is 2026, 2027, 8, 9. Now everyone's adopted with our will or against our will. This is happening. This is going to happen. So you got to own your data. You got to understand how to take advantage of this, because this is literally the best time to be a solopreneur. You don't have to give out your money to everyone and trust all these people. You could just go to AI, go to Claude and say, build me a website around my hair salon business. I'm based in da-da-da-da, and boom, there's your website. Okay, I need a back end so I can take reservations. Boom. Okay, that's awesome. I need automated emails to go out when they book. Boom. That's what it is. You talk into existence. You create through talking. And we're in the best time to be doing this. Okay. I understand there's a lot of fear. They want you to be in fear. They want you to be distracted. They want you to be entertained. They don't want you to be talking about, you can control your own information. You can control all of your data, all of it. If I'm a small or medium-sized business, I'm getting my own server, and I'm putting it all there, and I'm not putting it in one of the big boys. I'm putting it there. And that's happening. And it's happening really slowly. So this is the only time during this whole new AI movement that everyone's afraid of, that you can literally get your own Mac Mini, Mac Studio, and just have that as your own server, your own website, where you hold all of your customers' data instead of on these servers that have archaic coding around it and getting hacked and are the target of hacking. You're not a target of hacking, okay? Maybe here and there, but you're not a target of hacking. Maybe me a little bit more, because I'm putting this out and I have been attacked, not physically, but, cyber security. So I've learned. I had to put up guardrails. Okay, good. Now for the community, who else is in? Who else is in? This isn't, let's talk about fear. This is talking about who is at the cutting edge. What is at the cutting edge? How do we make sense of all the things that are going on? All these companies, all these IPOs, all this money, it's hitting healthcare, it's hitting education, it's hitting law, it's hitting everything. Everything by 2030 will look nothing like it does right now. Nothing. Nothing will look the same. There will be people that just opt out of it. Awesome. There's going to be people that really get involved, like myself, and build out our own stuff and encourage other people to build out and become a lower C creator. And then there's people that are going to remain in fear. They're going to remain in a fixed mindset, which I had up here. They're going to remain in a fixed mindset that this is the worst thing that's ever happened, and I need to fight everybody. And that's not good, because they can take control of their life for the first time in their life. They don't need to go to school like college. They don't need to get that PhD. Like if you're a doctor, that's different. But if you're going to graduate school to become better marketing, no, just market. Like now is the time that you take advantage of this. So that's the whole channel that I'm going to be going down. That the whole channel is going to be going down and encouraging others to be doing this, because right now is not the time to sit on your phone and be passive and to just let things happen to you. This is not the time to consume. This is not the time to be in consumption. We're out of the 20th century. We're now in the place where you want to feel safe. That's not sitting back. That's taking action. Be like, what can I do? Oh my gosh, I don't even need Monday.com. I could build my own to-do list, my own inbox, which I've done. I could build my own docs, which I've done. I could build my own coach for sleep, which I've done. My own triathlon coach, which I've done. There's something called a PWA app. It's free. You can build your own apps for yourself. And the lights just went out. Now we're in the dark. I just want to conclude this where it is a very encouraging moment. But again, this is what I'm going to say. This is how I'm going to end it. This is where they want you. And this is where I encourage you to completely go away from. I'm going to keep on bringing this up video after video after video. This is where they want you. Distracted and entertained. Bread and circus. Bread and circus. Distracted and entertained. No. We got it. Don't worry about it. Stay safe. Stay safe. Okay. Stay in consuming. Stay safe. Stay in consuming. Stay in consuming. Does that look familiar? Consume. Stay safe. Consume. Stay safe. And now what's happening? It's now 2027, 2028. And now it's here. And now you've been laid off. And now you're trying to learn this. That's not the time. Right now is the time. So if you're new here, then limited time warranty on this being free. We're building it out live. Highly recommend you do that. Subscribe to the video if you've never seen this before. The community is great. The community, it's positive people that are trying to understand this, make sense of this, understand that they have to say, I don't know, which I erased. I don't know. Charles, you look like you're pretty confident about what's going on. You're bringing up different perspectives, original ideas. You're connecting all these dots. It's actually a really good idea. That's what's happening. And this is the first time in my life that I have been able to connect creating like a website, a business, ownership of the business, and it's on my own computer. And I can at any time not go to someone else to manually move a button, change the color of the button, which I had to do if I was developing on the Salesforce platform. Hey, developer, I know it's $1,000 to do this. Can you do that? Now you just say, change the button. Button's changed. Committed. It's free. You own it. It's on your own computer, and you just speak how to do it. So links are below. I don't know, whatever you want to join. Doesn't really. Subscribe to the video, subscribe to the channel. And I'm just very excited because I am not this is not the season to be distracted and entertained and to be in fear. This is not the time to stay safe and consume, because as I had over here, that moment where people get the email that they're done and there's no other job openings, and then they're sitting in fear and they're not prepared, that's not the time to learn about this. Have a great day and subscribe to the video. Join down below. I think it might be free. I don't know, whenever you're watching this, it might be paid. I have no idea, but it's going to be a great community. That is for sure. We got high standards on what we're talking about. We are unemotional to what is happening. We're just making sense of it. All right. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later.